Hello, 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 hello. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Well, hello. Is everybody here?
Hello po.
Ay, medyo nag-echo. Sorry. Hang on a sec. Ayan. Okay, try ulit. Ayan. Moyo, are you there? Okay. My lovely and very handsome moderator is here. Okay. Tingnan muna natin. Did everybody have a nice lunch? James, just checking out the people here. James Paul, are you there? Okay. Hang on a sec. What happened to our lecture? Oh, here we go. Moya, did you receive the other lectures? Okay. Hopefully. How is Mel? Mel looks like he's still helping him. He's still looking at the mirror. Okay. That's all good as long as you look at your fabulous self. Okay. Renmar, where is my Junakis? Ay, okay. Ayan. Buti na lang. Kasi wawarlahin kita pag wala ka. Charit. Okay. Dexter, I hope you're feeling okay naman. Alright. Stop na ako ng chika. Okay. So our next topic is did I give you the correct one? I think I peripheral blood smear examination, right? I gave you the correct one, right, Moyo? I'm not sure if that's the one that Sir Marco sent you, but hopefully he did send you the correct one. It's supposed to be the white one in the background. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. So we are studying the peripheral blood smear. Okay, so this is not the same as that of CBC. Okay, please make sure that please keep that in mind. CBC is a part of it. Okay, CBC is a part of it, but it's not the same test. Okay, clear? Clear ba tayo? I'm gonna boot myself out. Stop screen sharing. Okay. So, let's start with our very first question. I think our very first question is when viewing cells under the microscope, I think you should be aware of cellular characteristics. I think we've already discussed this when we were studying the morphology of hang on a sec. Ano nangyari? Okay ba yung ano natin? Live stream natin, Moyo? Okay naman, no? Alright, double checking lang. Okay, so I think we've already discussed this when we were talking about hematopoiesis, when we were identifying the morphological structures of the cells. So let's just repeat. We are looking at the cell size of each cell in the in the peripheral blood smear. We're also looking at the nucleus and we're looking at the cytoplasm as a whole, everything. Okay? Everything na hindi na siya isa-isa na lang na cell na pinag-usapan natin. We are reaching the clinical side of our hematology discussion. Okay? So we're no longer reading that. We're no longer studying the theories. Okay? We're ito na yung ano natin, yung kumbaga climax ng ating discussion, which we've been preparing since last week. All right. Now, when viewing the peripheral blood smear, it is important to note certain variations from the norm, such as, in terms of RBC, the alteration in RBC distribution, okay, variation in size, variation in shape, alteration in color, and inclusion bodies. Okay, so what do you mean by alteration in the RBC distribution? Is there Rolu formation, right? Is there enough RBC on the thin blood smear, right? Because in this part you can understand you can correlate the histograms given to you by the automated analyzer. Okay, so most of the time you're no longer doing, unless you are somewhere in the mountains where a Celdine Ruby, which is probably one of the cheapest analyzers there, I think that they can give us, or even they even have Japanese companies producing the 3 parameter CBC analyzers that measures CBC that measures RBC, WBC, and platelets only as its parameters. You are not gonna come into the hospital running the samples with a pipetor. You remember your do you still have your pipetors, guys? The one where you, the one where there's a bulb. Do you know that part? Do you guys know that part? The RBC pipette, the W pipette, WBC pipette, and the Sally pipette. Are you still familiar with those pipettes? So, don't expect to not use those things when you come into the clinical lab. Okay, so most of the time you're going to be running it in an analyzer, and it's going to give you a lot of histograms. And in this discussion, hopefully we will get to discuss automation. But if not, there are videos there in the channel from my previous classes that tackles on about automation. But anyways, variation in size is this, what is this, is there macrocytosis, is there microcytosis, or is it normocytic? Variation in shape, right, is another one. Alteration in color, is it hypochromic or is it normochromic? Is there such a thing as is there such a thing as um, polychromasia? So those are the things that you need to look at when there is alteration in color. And of course, the ever so much discussed inclusions: Howell Jolly bodies, basophilic stipplings, okay? What else? Heinz bodies. Those are the things that we're going to look for in the peripheral blood. All right. Now, let's talk first about RBC distribution. I think that's the first time that we're going to talk about RBC distribution. We've never discussed it in the previous one because we skipped along the RBC indices, right? You got to remember the formula, okay? Even as I am working with automated analyzers, I always had to rely on the formula, okay? Before we continue, I prepared a couple of questions. That's why I had to extend. Can somebody give me the formula for the following later? Okay, raise your hand if you know already. The formula for the following RBC indices, because this is very important as you go along and get your licenses in the future. You will still come back to this one because there are certain cases that RBC indices need to be computed manually. Okay, so you have those three things. Gonna go and continue. I'm going to go and continue the discussion. However, some of you must be able to answer this question before we move on to RBC, WBC and anomalies. Okay, now RBC alterations in RBC distribution rather. Let's go with the first slide. What part of the blood smear is ideally observed? Okay, have you guys looked at your blood smear before during your experiments? Mel, when you were a student, did you look at your blood smear? Very good. Or in some books they call it the corona. Okay, you can we see if that's the correct, the feathery edge? Yes, because that's the area of the blood smear where there is constant distribution, yeah, constant distribution of RBCs, or a not so thick and not so thin distribution of cells. You can appreciate the morphological structures in that part of the smear. Okay, next. What should normal RBC distribution look like? It should be the cells should be slightly separated from one another without overlapping. Okay. Sometimes there are overlaps. It does it's not it's okay, but there should be most of the cells need to be separated. Okay. If there is overlap, majority of the even in the thin smear, expect agglutination, right? Expect agglutination. What does overlapping denote? Rouleau formation or stacking of coins, right? That happens in hyperviscous samples where the plasma is where the plasma is so thick that it causes autoagglutination of the cells, autoagglutination of the red cells. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Terms about cellular distribution and what abnormalities are usually observed. We have as I mentioned before, there is Rouleau formation, the French one, Rouleau, and agglutination. Those are the two things that you need to take note of as medical technologists, medical laboratory scientists, or clinical laboratory scientists, or biomedical scientists if you're going to the to European countries. Okay, so briefly this let's briefly describe. I think that's the next question. Briefly describe the Rolu formation. Rolu formation is characterized as a stack of coins, and cellular outlines are not visible. This is what Rolu formation looks like in the smear. Look at the other cells around it. Always look at the other cell. Every time I will ask you to look at the cells, if I was your hematology professor, I would always ask you to look at the cells beside it. Because one cell is not indicative, one cell is not representative of all the cells in your smear. Always look at the neighbors, okay? Such as how you answer the questions when I ask them. For example, Renmar answered hypotonic. Kim, Diane, Gracie all answered hypotonic as well, right? So always look in terms of peripheral blood smear examination. Always look at your katabi, okay? Chismisan. Look at them, right? Are they all stacked together? So this means that this one is what? Agglutinated. Kasi tingnan mo yung iba hindi, di ba? So there's some sort of anomaly there. Can you guys appreciate it? Right? Some of the cells are still stacking, right? But unlike other parts of this particular field, there's one that is clearly there's one there that looks, especially the one in the middle, the one that there is observable stacking. Okay? Clear ba tayo dyan sa may sinasabing Rolu formation? Okay? Clear? Clear? Walang nagsalita? I'm assuming okay, ayan, nagsalita na si Patrick. Si Patrick lang talaga may attendance ngayon. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, what is the main reason why Rolu formation occurs? As I mentioned earlier, right, there is a lot of protein in the plasma. Okay? There's a lot of protein in the plasma, and that is known as hyperproteinemia. Okay? Okay, clear? There's hyperproteinemia. Next. Disease is commonly associated with hyperproteinemia or Rolu, which then subsequently results to Rolu formation. Do not forget your what do you call this? Plasma cell dyscrasias or dyscrasias, multiple myeloma, and macroglobulinemia. Uy, review lang tayo. And hyperfibrinogenemia. I forgot to mention. Hyperfibrinogenemia. Let's talk about multiple myeloma and macroglobulinemia first. Macroglobulinemia, what do you think is the immunoglobulin? What is the immunoglobulin class that is primarily affected in this type of plasma cell dyscrasia? What immunoglobulin class? Andrea, sa tingin mo? Macroglobulinemia. From the name itself, oh. Ayan na, tumayo na, nabuhayan na ng dugo si Dexter. Dexter, sige, pakitaan mo nga sila kahit may sakit ka. Why? Alam mo na naman bakit why. Lagi akong may why. Yes, and another name for it. Yeah, and other name for it is macroglobulin. Okay? Multiple myeloma is, of course, characterized by a serum electrophoresis that there's polyclonal gammopathy, right? We'll discuss that later. I think we've discussed that a couple of days ago, but I hope you still remember what is polyclonal gammopathy. But don't worry, when we discuss leukemias, we'll go back again to multiple myeloma, okay? Anyways, let's go on to the next term. This is the term used for the clumping or clustering of cells together. I think we've discussed that in clinical, in blood banking. This is the thing that you observe when you see a positive result, right? This is agglutination, and agglutination looks like this in the microscope. Okay, so see, it's different from Rolu formation because they're not stacked horizontally, but more so they're just randomly clumped up together, right? There's no definitive size, right? And there's no shape to it. Okay, random clumping together is considered as agglutination. Okay, so of course, we're going to ask what are the main reasons why RBCs agglutinate, right? Main reasons for that is the surface immunoglobulins are present and the presence of adhesion molecules in WBCs and RBCs, or WBCs and platelets. Okay, there could be in vivo sensitization in the RBC surface or in vivo sensitization in both what platelets or WBCs. Okay? Now, question for everybody. Another question arises. Ang dami namang questions, sir. Hindi ba pwedeng tuloy-tuloy? Siyempre, kailangan gumagana ang utak natin. Okay? Now, suppose, for example, the patient doesn't have, we've established, theoretically, okay, everything is theoretical. Okay? Theoretically, the patient doesn't have, is not a known person with autoimmune disorders, like any anti autoimmune hemolytic anemias was not detected in this patient prior to coming to the hospital. We know that this patient also doesn't have anti-WBs or anti-leukocyte antibodies and anti-platelet antibodies. Now, I would concur. I would extrapolate from that assessment that there is a problem with technicalities. Now, ang may problema ay ang lab personnel, 'di ba? Kasi pumasok ang pasyente, walang problema. Tapos sabihin na hindi may surface immunoglobulin ng pasyente. 'Di ba ganon yung ano naman. No. Kasi may previous si patient, 'di ba? Ngayon, technically speaking, ano kaya ang problema ano kaya ang most common cause of agglutination that you would experience if there is technical error? Technical error, diyan papasok si what? Pre-analytic, analytic, and post-analytic considerations. Sa tingin nyo, which phase of testing is affected if there is agglutination in the sample when peripheral blood when a peripheral blood smear is ordered by a physician and you saw agglutination even though the patient is not a known autoimmune hemolytic anemia, anti-leukocyte, and anti-platelet antibody carrier or doesn't have any form of autoimmunity. Ano sa tingin nyo? Most common cause. Because this is a question that will tickle your common sense. Sige, sa tingin nyo. Tanungin ko muna. Pre-analytic muna tayo. What pre-analytic consideration do you think was the problem there? Kasi medtech tayo, hindi naman tayo mga doktor. Usually, ang mga questions na itatanong sa inyo is pang medtech. Okay? Okay? Sino? Sige. Yung mga nag-intern. Sabi nila, nag-intern sila sa AFP using syringe. Pag kumuha ng dugo. Oh, ayun na, may clue na kayo, oh. James Paul. Nagtago si James Paul. Biglang bumaba sa camera. Dexter. Pre-analytic considerations. Before pa ipasok sa machine ang sample. Sige. Hemolyzed? Hindi ba? Ayan na, may nakaisip na ng sagot. Sige. Patrick. Very good. 'Di ba? Very good. Pag clotted ang sample, syempre makakakita ka ng agglutination, 'di ba? 'Di ba, guys? 'Di ba? Clotted yung sample mo. 'Yun yung unang-una mong titingnan. Before ka magra-run pre-analytic consideration, itataas mo muna yung tube, titingnan mo mga clot, 'di ba? Kung sa tingin mo merong clot, sundutin mo ng stick, 'di ba? Or yung ginagamit namin is social kami doon sa ano. Hindi na ako nag-hema dito nung nandoon ako sa Middle East. Pipetor ang gamit namin. Okay? So pwede mong sundutin, 'di ba? Para lang ma-check, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Kaya nga yan yung mga itatanong sa inyo sa board exam. Okay? Yan yung mga dapat pakatatandaan ninyo. Pre-analysis, analysis, and post-analysis. Okay? Alright, let's move on, Marion. Okay. Common causes of agglutinations in blood films. O, diba? Yan na, sinagot ko na para sa inyo. Diba? Not disease-related. Clotted or microclotted samples. And EDTA-induced plasma satellitism. Okay? Platelet plasma tuloy. Platelet satellitism. Okay? EDTA-induced platelet satellitism. All right. So, because we're talking about ADTA-induced platelet satellitism, let's go to the next slide because I think that is where we discussed it. We already talked about clotted or microclotted samples. Do I need to explain what's clotted and microclotted samples? Patrick, hindi na. Okay. Alright, so pag clotted ang sample natin, yun yung underfilled or overfilled yung sample mo. 'Di ba? Or hindi mo ni-mix. Okay? Number one rule of thumb in phlebotomy, always mix your sample if there's an additive. Okay? Sometimes pa nga kapag serum ang sample na kailangan, may procoagulant na kailangan, 'di ba? Yung mga may calcium activator tubes. Microclotted samples, yun yung mga yung nag-delay ka ng collection, yung kasi nagse-search ka. For example, evacuated tube ang gamit mo or evacuated needles ang gamit mo. 'Di ba? Yun yung nakakuha na ako ng blood, tapos biglang nag-stop yung daloy. Then nag-search ka pa and then oops, tumuloy na ulit. Pero medyo matagal. Then nag-cause pa rin siya ng clot. Ganon. Okay? Yun yung microclots. Microclots is hindi mo makikita unless you run it to the analyzer and you saw that there is a spurious decrease or erroneous decrease of platelets. Kasi nga, di ba, for example, tinignan natin, dinelta check natin ang pasyente. What is delta checking? Looking at the previous result, right? When you look at the previous result, normal naman ang patient, 150 ang ano niya. 150 ang previous niya na 150K rather. Ang previous niyang result. That was like not an hour ago. That was 6 hours ago. Okay? Ngayon pa-discharge siya si patient, biglang naging 10. Hindi ka ba mag-iisip noon as medtech, 'di ba? Biglang naging 10K. 'Di ba? Mag-iisip ka noon as medtech, may error dito. Anong nangyari? 'Di ba? Ganon dapat ang ano natin. Okay? Now, how do we look for microclotted samples? You look at the peripheral blood smear. That's why, yun yung sinasabi kanina na you have to correlate the results with the CBC. Okay? Correlate the results with the CBC. And correlating the results with the CBC is not examining the peripheral blood smear. Okay? That's a different test altogether. Okay? Clear ba tayo? Clear? Clear pa tayo, Patrick? Si Patrick lang kasi sumasagot eh. Bakit wala yung iba kong students? Ano nangyari? Pinakain na kayo? Wala pa rin kayong energy? Tama ba yun? Ayan, si Bai. Bai, tama ba yan, Renmar? Pinakain ko kayo. Di ba dapat energetic ka na? Ayan na si Lilso. Okay. Alright. Tama ba yan? Lumalabas na naman yung hangga-ilongga ko. Kahit hindi ako ilongga. Ano ba yan? Okay. So, what is the term used for EDTA-induced platelet satellitism? This is known as pseudo-thrombocytopenia. Okay? And it is corrected by running the sample in sodium citrate anticoagulated blood, or you can use heparinized blood if, for example, there is still a problem with the sodium citrate. Okay? All right. Let's move on with other things that we need to consider. Okay, automated analyzers that run platelet counts using sodium citrate should be corrected for dilutional effects kasi nga iba yung dilution ng ng ating sodium citrate tubes. And ano ba ang color ng tube na ginagamit natin for hematology in general? Ano lang ang kailangan nating makikita na tubes? Makakakita ba ako ng red top, Patrick? Sa hematology? Ha? At saka ano pa? Nako, James Paul. Ayan na, nagagalit yung mga co-intern mo. James Paul. Ano pa yung isa, James Paul? Hindi ko marinig. Bahala ka dyan, James Paul. Yung iba na lang. James, sino yung mga nag-in? Si Arian. Si Arian. Sige, si Arian. Narinig ko. Nakita ko kanina si Arian eh. O si ano pala, si... Nasaan na yun? Ayan, ayan. Aryan, ayan. Papalag daw si Aryan. Ayan, sige, go. Okay, sodium citrate tube, okay. Arte-arte ko, sodium citrate pa ako. Nakalimutan ko, Pinoy pala yung mga estudyante ko. Citrate daw ang arte-arte. Okay. Alright, so automated. So, when you are collecting from those two things, of course, from those two things, you know that there is a lot of dilutional effect. There's a dilution there for sodium citrate, right? You have to correct the results by multiplying it to 1.1. Okay? You always have to do that. Because why? The ratio is adjusted to 1 is to 8. Diba? The ratio is adjusted to 1 is to 8. That's the reason why we have to multiply it to 1.1. Okay? Yun lang. Hindi ako magaling sa math, kaya hindi ako magtatanong sa inyo ng math questions. Huwag kayo mag-alala. Yan yung parang bonus ko na para sa inyo. Diba? More on gamitan tayo ng utak. Okay? Next. What is the most common cause of autoagglutination when preparing blood films? There's one thing that you need to remember. I think we discussed it earlier before we started the break. This is cold agglutinin or cold agglutinin disease. Okay? Cold agglutinin disease or cold agglutinin. Renmar, what are the causes again para pakita mo sa kanila na anak ka talaga ikaw? What are the common causes of cold agglutinin disease if it's associated with an infection? Okay, bongga. O, diba? What about viral? What about the viruses naman? Taray talaga nyo. Hindi ka sabi si Evie, chill ka lang. Okay? Chill ka lang. Chill ka lang. Yung mga nag-activate lang ng oncogenes like parvovirus B19. That's correct. What? Hepatitis B, HIV, and EBV. What disease that does EBV cause again? Kasi ang daming nakakalimot niyan. Every time na tinatanong ko sa exams yan, Ariane, Dorothy, do you still remember? EBV, what type of infection does it cause? Ba? It's the causative agent of what disease ba? Gamitin ang mga iPads, class. Ako, Diyos ko, sayang ang binabayad ng mga parents. Pang-google nyo, class. Ano na, maghanap tayo ng ibang ano. Wala akong, nasaan ang aking Junakis? Junakis, mamili ka nga ng number. 1 to 20. Select a number, Renmar. Select a number 1 to 20. 18. Okay, whilst I'm looking for the person who I'm going to call, is there any particular reason why you chose number 18? Chill lang. Ganun lang. Chill ka lang, sir. Walang issue. Huwag kang mang-issue, sir. Ganun. Akala ko yun yung iniisip mo magiging ano ninyo. Mansari ninyo nung ibibenta ko sa'yo nakatrabaho kong si Alex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Ay, 18 lang pala. Dexter! Si Dexter pala. Dexter, what disease is caused by EBV? Just a review. Quick review lang tayo. Very good! O, diba nakakatuwa naman, o, diba? Alright, let's move on to the next slide na, Marion. Okay, how can a technologist correct for cold-induced autoagglutination? Ayan. Ang dami, and I did not expect this when I was studying, when I was working a few years back. I did not expect that I would encounter cold agglutinins. I thought it was like a 1 in a million, 1 in 100,000 samples. But actually, 3 beses ko na siyang na-encounter sa buong karera ko bilang isang medtech. Okay? And it's always the same. Alam nyo kung anong pinagagawa? Ipinalalagay sa kilikili ng intern. Okay? Bakit? Kasi mainit ang kilikili ng intern. Lalo na yung mga bagong intern, pawis na pawis yan. Okay? Kasi, in order to correct autoagglutinations of cells, you pre-warm the blood before preparing the blood film. Let's see if I'm correct. Hindi naman, sir, hindi naman nakalagay na ilagay sa kilikili ng intern. Hindi naman. 'di ba? Pero hindi. You pre-warm the blood. Meron kami mga blood warmers na mga arte-arte na. Ang arte-arte na nung umalis lang ako ng Pilipinas. Ang blood warmers namin dati, mga intern. Lalo na sa blood bank naman, ang mga rotators namin, mga intern. Hindi ano. Wala kami nung mga nakikita nyo dyan sa PBC, sa Philippine Blood Center, yung auto agitator. Wala kaming ganun. Intern ang meron kami, 'di ba? All right. So let's move on to the next part. At what temperatures that does cold-induced autoagglutination occurs? Any sample below that is processed that has cold agglutinins will form a clot at temperatures below 31 degrees Celsius. Okay, I've looked at it in three different books. Sometimes it's 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, but I took the one with the highest one. Okay, I took the one with the highest temperature, degrees Celsius. Okay, now let's talk about variation in cell size. Okay, variation in cell size is also known as, may nagsabi na niyan kanina. Feeling ko hindi lang niya na-gets ko ano yung sinasabi niya. Kasi binasa lang niya sa Google. Who here knows the answer? Variation in cell size. Variation in cell size is known as... Patrick, ayan na. Ay, bongga talaga. Bongga talaga. Ma-proud talaga sa'yo si Sir Marco mo. Pag ganyan ang sagutan, Patrick, hindi bubula ang bunganga ni Sir Marco. Tingnan nga natin kung tama ang sagot niya, Marion. Alright, very good. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. This is the most important thing that you need to remember because I've seen this several times from several batches who've taken the board exam. They always ask these questions. They always ask this question and usually in a different format, usually. Okay? Which RBC index is a direct measure of the degree of anisocytosis in a sample of blood? What do you think is which RBC index? Degree of anisocytosis. Patrick again. Batara yung mga mahihirap na questions sa yung mga sinasagot ni Patrick ka. Mukhang ilang beses na itong nag-take ng exam na to. Alright. At least you are learning. At least you are learning from MCV. Very good. So when you every time you hear the word MCV, always remember anisocytosis is associated with it. And how do we compute it? So did somebody remember how to compute it na? Not yet. Come on, people. You guys have iPads. Ay, taray talaga ni Patrick. Nagpapakita ngila si Patrick Sir Marco. Okay. Alright. Sino yung naka-on? Sino yung naka-on na yan? Nanunood ata ng Netflix. Ay, ikaw pala, James Paul ha. James Paul. Ulit nga, nagsasalita si Patrick. Bihira lang magsagot si Patrick ng ano. Alam mo kung mahihirap na question. Ulit, Patrick, nakalimutan ko. Ay, na ano ko. Okay, very good. Okay, okay. Mamaya tayo babalik sa question na yan, Patrick. Ikaw ang tatanungin ko dyan. Okay, now, let's talk about the next thing about anisocytosis. Now, when observing cells for anisocytosis, what are the important findings the technologists to take note of? There's two things, right? When you talk about anisocytosis, you're always going to talk about what? Macrocytosis or microcytosis, which is an indicator of the type of anemia based on morphology. Okay? Macrocytic hypochromic, normocytic normochromic, or microcytic hypochromic. Diyan yun lumalabas. Okay? Now, let's move on to RBC identification. How are red cells identified as macrocytic? Ayan. Ayan na tayo. Patay tayo dyan. No, now this is when you look at it in the microscope, ha? Not in the RBC indices. When the cell is what? When the RBC diameter is greater than Renmar. Okay. Medyo kinulang, pero sige. 9, 10. Okay, patingin nga. Tingnan mo, baka mamaya tama pala si Renmar, no? Ay, hindi, tama ako. Ako pa rin ang tama. Charit. Tandaan mo, second lang ang ganda mo sa akin. Ako ang ina mo. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Ako ang ina nyo. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, what are the possible reasons for macrocytosis in the peripheral blood? We've discussed that earlier, right? There's impaired DNA synthesis, accelerated erythropoiesis, as in the case of megaloblastic anemia, and there is increased cholesterol and lecithin in the cell membrane. Okay? Although we've already discussed the first two, right? Accelerated erythropoiesis. Have you guys remembered that one? And DNA synthesis. Okay? Common causes of microcytosis is, I think, the next question. Common causes of microcytosis, there's 4 things. We've discussed that earlier, except for one, hypothyroidism. I guess this is an updated version of that one, but that's because we're discussing about it in anemia, in terms of anemia, not on the blood cell morphology. Okay, so Mel might say, "Sir, you lying? Earlier you said vitamin D and liver disease and drugs." Yes, Mel, I know. I have a psychic connection. I knew you were gonna ask me that question. Okay, but in cases of hypothyroidism, it has nothing to do with anemia. Okay, has nothing to do with anemia. It's more so on the morphological anomalies caused by hypothyroidism. Okay, Mel? So alam ko na itatanong mo 'yan kanina si Mel eh. Kaya sabi ko ay alam ko magbabanat siya ng ano, magsasalita siya na, "Sir, you lying. You only told us vitamin V, vitamin deficiency, liver disease and drugs lang." Hindi, kasama hypothyroidism when it comes to peripheral blood examination. Okay, now, vitamin deficiencies that can cause microcytosis. I think everybody knows. Let's just go for a quick review. Let's ask somebody who is not Mel, Arian, Dexter, James Paul, and Patrick and Renmar. Let's ask one of my cohorts from my previous discussions. Nasaan na si Lil Zoe? Hindi ko na nakikita si Lil Zoe eh. Lil Zoe, where art thou? Wala ata siya. Parang hindi ko siya nakita dito. Wala nga. So, iba na lang. Si Channy Lu. Parang ang tagal ko nang hindi narinig si Channy Lu eh. Channy Lu, nasaan ka na? Isa ka sa mga cohorts ko dati. Yes, ayan. Hindi niya alam kung ano yung tanong. Alright. The question is in front of you. What vitamin deficiencies can cause microcytosis? Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you speak a little louder? Vitamin C. Girl, kanina lang natin pinag-usapan. Girl. Ulit, isa pa. Try ulit. Girl, you were not listening to me earlier. Vitamin C. All right, let's find another person. Cielo, yung katabi ni ano. Thank you, Chanelu. Okay, and the other one. Ayan. Bye, Assalamualaikum. Alright. Vitamin B9, hoy. Heme synthesis yon. Folate. Kayo talaga, mga bata, tato. Folate yung isa. Folate is a vitamin also. Kayo talaga, nakakaloka kayo. Pakita mo na ka, Mario, na yan, oh. Ano ba? So, hoy, heme synthesis yung vitamin B6. Sasakali kita, bay, ha? Vitamin D na folate. Kayo talaga, di ba pag may nag-jaundice, di ba? Meron akong mga students na may anak na ngayon, may mga anak na. So, yung mga may anak na makaka-relate. Okay? Okay. Folate, di ba magkasama yan na binibigay at saka vitamin B12 para ano. Okay na, kayo nakakaloka kayo. Nakalimutan nyo na yung mga vitamins. Kanina lang natin diniscuss. Another name for ano, ayan na. Renmar, anak, pakitaan mo nga sila. Yung madaling question talaga yung tinatanong. Pakitaan mo sila. Another name for vitamin B12. Anong cobalamin? Cobalamin. Okay. Cobalamin. Pero mo pinapakitaan talaga ninyo. Pinapakitaan talaga si Shanelu at saka si Shelo at Bay, oh. Charing lang yan. Huwag kayong maniwala dyan. Well-coached yan ng mga answers niya. Charet. Okay, let's move on to the next question, please. Drugs that causes microcytosis. I think these are a combination of heavy metals as well as chemotherapeutic drugs. So let's start off the discussion with methotrexate, 'di ba? Yan yung laging binibigay. Cyclophosphamide, nitrous oxide, and arsenic. Nitrous oxide, saan man natin yan makikita? Sa hospital. Sino na dito ang nagamitan ng nitrous oxide? Wala pang na-ooperahan dito. That is used for anesthesia, 'di ba? General anesthesia. Okay? So just hindi naman kailangan, hindi naman important. But let's move on to the next one. Inaantok na si Renmar. Hoy, Renmar ha, 6 a.m. gising na ako. 12 a.m. na dito, hindi pa din ako tulog. Kaya kung sino mang may karapatan dito ang antukin, dapat ako yun, pero energetic pa rin ako ha. Chill ka lang. Okay? Magtago sa ilalim ng table pagka magkakamot. Kasi nahahawa ako pag may naghihikab na estudyante. Nakakahawa din pala kahit virtual. Okay. Now, the average diameter of a microcyte naman tayo. What is the average diameter of a microcyte? If it's less than 6.7 in the microscopy, it's 6.7 micrometers. Okay? Yeah. That is a microcyte. Now, main causes of microcytosis, main cause of microcytosis is of course impaired hemoglobin synthesis. Okay? Diyan pumapasok ba yung vitamin B6 mo, ha? Okay, yung vitamin B6 mo. Bakit? Para saan ba si vitamin B6? Bye. Nakalimutan na. Naalala mo yung chart na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina? Yung tingin lang kayo dun sa mga side dahil hindi naman tayo mga doktor. Naalala niyo ba yan? Has something to do with lead poisoning, di ba? Yung mga ganon. Okay, isi-send ko ba, kailangan ko bang i-send sa inyo yon, Patrick? Gusto niyo bang maalala yon? Si Patrick ang magdi-decide. Okay, sige. Isi-send ko mamaya kay Sir Marco, ha? Tapos gagawa ako ng question about that. Hopefully, makakasagot yung mga tao. Parang binigyan ko na kayo ng leakage, di ba? Gagawa ako ng tanong about that, pero titingnan natin kung talagang masasagot pa din ng mga students. Okay? Alright, pakita natin ang question, sagot sa question. It has something to do with impaired hemoglobin synthesis. Kasi nga, di ba kanina? So, hemoglobin synthesis is divided into several parts, di ba? Yung globin chain synthesis, related to alpha and beta chain synthesis, and the heme synthesis, which starts with what? With production of 8 ala, 'di ba? Nakalimutan niyo na talaga kanina lang pinag-usapan natin. Kukurutin ko kayo, ha? Kukurutin ko kayo. Kumain lang kayo, nakalimot na. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. So there are 3 clinical conditions where we can see that can cause absolute microcytosis. Of course, the things that we've discussed earlier, iron deficiency anemia, thalassemia syndromes, and anemia of chronic disease. Ba? Ano nga ang problema pag may anemia of chronic disease? Yung increased release of what? Liver protein that blocks ferroportin. Naku, nakalimutan na naman. Hepcidin, di ba? Hepcidin. Huwag kakalimutan. Yan yung mga tinatanong. Okay? Alright. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. Partial microcytosis can be seen in cases of lead poisoning and iron overload anemias or sideroblastic anemia. Note that it may not be seen in an analyzer. It may not be seen in analyzer reports as microcytic, but peripheral blood has significant numbers of microcytes, especially for this particular cases. Okay? So we had a patient who was suffering from lead poisoning. There's a lot of things that are really abnormal with it. So the pathologist in charge at that time asked me to make a peripheral blood smear. And lo and behold, I saw microcytosis and sideroblasts. Not sideroblasts, but more on punctate basophilia. Okay. So let's move on to variations in RBC shape. So variation in RBC shape is aptly termed as poikilocytosis. Okay, it's poikilocytosis. Okay, so remember anisocytosis, poikilocytosis. Those are the things that you need to remember. Let's go one by one with the different poikilocytes. Another term for codocytes. Paulit-ulit lang ako. Mhm. Para hindi nyo makalimutan. Mamaya ka na, Patrick. Mamaya ka na din, Arian. Yung iba muna. Okay. Sino pa? Wala na nagtataas ng kamay. Ayan, si Leila. Hi, Leila. Welcome back. O, diba? Si Leila naman. Leila, para pumapa. Pakitaan mo sila, Leila. Target cells. Another name for target cells and codocytes. Sige pa nga, Leila. Pakitaan mo sila na ikaw ay may natatagong abilidad din. Ano pa? Yung sinusuot sa ulo. Yung sinusuot sa ulo, ang example ko pa nga kanina is yung parang condom. Oh, ayan. O, di ba? Winner talaga. O, di ba? Pakita nga natin sa kanila kung anong itsura niyan. Ng target cells na yan. Ayan. O, di ba? Ang cute, di ba? Parang mga ano lang. Alam mo yung mga maliliit na ano. Hindi ko alam. Ay, hindi pala. Bata pala. Siguro si Sir Marco lang ang makaka-relate sa akin. Yung kisses. Yung dumadami daw pag nilagay sa ano. Hindi na kayo makaka-relate nun kasi you are the generation of TikTok na eh. Bakit? Bakit Patrick? Makaka-relate ka din, Patrick? Yung nilalagay sa bulak, yes. Alam mo yan, yung dumadami. Lalagyan ng... okay. Alright, so at least may hindi pala to si Patrick, hindi pala to si Patrick TikTok generation. Okay. Anyways, let's go and talk about codocytes some more. True circulating form of codocytes are what? Are bell-shaped. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba kanina sinabi ko sa inyo, hindi talaga siya ganyan. Pakibalik nga yung pakibalik yung picture. Hindi talaga siya ganyan. Yan yung 2D form niya. Okay? Two-dimensional form lang yan. Okay? What it really looks like is look at the cell beside in between the first two arrows starting from the right. Starting from the right. May highlighter ka ba, Moyo? Diyan. Wala ako kasing highlighter. the one in between the two, ayan, 'di ba? Ayan. Nakita mo yung cell na malaki na yan, ituro mo sa kanila yan. Baba ka ng konti. Isa yung katabi niyan sa kanan. Ayan, o 'di ba? Nakita nyo, yan yung true appearance niyan. Kaya yan yung pinili ko. Shout out pala sa University of Texas for providing us with this picture. Naku, nakalimutan kong pasalamatan. Baka ma-demonetize. Okay? Alright, that one is a bell-shaped target site. Ayan talaga yung itsura niya. 'Di ba nga kaya nga lumabas yung condom joke ko kanina. Kaya nga codocytes condom. 'Di ba? Para hindi makalimutan, 'di ba? Okay, Renmar ha. Okay? Let's move to the next our actual discussion. Okay? So, they can appear like this artifactually due to air drying, okay? They can appear like this because of air drying pala. Okay? Normally they don't look bell-shaped, but due to air drying they will form into that one. Okay? Now, the main mechanism of codocyte formation, I think, has something to do with a lipid and cholesterol imbalance. Okay? Tama ba ako? Yes, tama ako. Hemoglobin content and lipid cholesterol imbalance. When hemoglobin is decreased or the hemoglobin molecule is altered, there would be an increase in lipid content. And that's why it becomes a little squishy. Parang lumalambot siya. Ganun. So yun yung naiisip ko lagi kapag merong decrease in hemoglobin. Parang lumalambot siya. Okay? Kasi proteins, usually I call them as structural macromolecules. Kaya nga tinatawag sila 'di ba building blocks of the human body, 'di ba? So, pag nababawasan ng hemoglobin, tumataas ang lipid content and it becomes a little squishy. Okay? Parang pag tayo, di ba, pag nagsitabaan tayo, ang cute natin, parang papisilin yung pisngi natin. Di ba? Ng mga magulang natin at saka ng mga tiyuhin at tiyahin natin. Ganon din ang nangyayari sa RBCs. Okay? Tumataas yung lipid content nila. Okay? So, let's move on to the next one. Based on RBC index, the general characteristics of smears with codocytes is always hypochromic. Okay? Hypochromic. So if you see hypochromic cells, assume that it is related to microcytic hypochromic anemia. Okay? And you see codocytes. Now, codocytes are seen in which clinical conditions? Patients with sickle cell anemia, patients with homozygous HBC disease, and heterozygous HBC disease. I forgot to add thalassemia there. Okay? Thalassemia. Specifically, thalassemia major. Alright? So, please, don't forget thalassemias. Okay? Target cells may be... okay. Nandun pala siya sa next slide. Okay? Clinical conditions that target cells maybe lang, could be mixed in with this one. Okay? Such as in cases of IDA, liver disease, and post-splenectomy procedures. Okay? Or after splenectomy procedures. Okay? Post-splenectomy. Now, I asked earlier osmotic fragility because you can also do an experiment with patients who have sickle cell anemia to just experiment with them using the next slide muna tayo. Using OFT. Okay? Now, the OFT of patients with codocytes will have a decrease in their osmotic fragility test. Kasi nga maliliit lang sila eh. Okay? Saan papasok yung ano? Medyo matagal-tagal silang sasabog. And take note that they are rich in lipids. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next slide. These are cells that have the lowest surface area to volume ratio. These are spherocytes. They're briefly described as cells with no central pallor, and they are of similar sizes with normal sites. Look at the cells. Diba? Walang central pallor. Or, pag Tagalog na Tagalog ka, central pallor. Okay? Okay? Clear? Clear ang itsura ng clear sa lahat ang itsura ng spherocytes? Clear ha? Okay. Pag nag-present ako ng picture, malilintikan tayo na naman yan. Alright. Mechanism involved in spherocyte formation is abnormality in sodium influx. Okay? Sodium influx. Kasi nga pumapasok yung tubig. Pumapasok yung salts. And wherever salt goes, water follows. Diba? Lagi yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. And common causes of spherocytosis. Common causes, hemolytic anemias can cause that one. Hereditary spherocytosis, of course. Toxins, burns, and splenic states such as hypersplenism and post-splenectomy. Sir, ba't parang kanina ko pa nakikita yung splenectomy na yan, sir? Tsaka yung ano na yan? Tsaka yung mga toxins na yan? Well, RBC anomalies oftentimes overlap with each other. Hindi ibig sabihin na, for example, si Renmar merong hereditary spherocytosis. Meron siyang, hindi pala hereditary spherocytosis. Meron siyang lead poisoning. Ang makikita lang natin is one type of RBC anomalies. Be mindful that there are some, okay, minor increase. They overlap with each other because the clinical conditions and laboratory findings as well as the peripheral and the microscopic analysis can vary with each other. Kaya nga iniisa-isa ko, hinahati-hati ko yung discussion para hindi malito ang mga students. Okay? Alright, now let's talk about the egg-shaped or club-shaped RBC. Okay? This is known as elliptocytes or ovalocytes. Okay? They look like this. They look like a bunch of hot dogs, right? No? Ovalocyte. Instead of looking like ellipses, I don't see ellipses. I see more of hot dogs, honestly. Okay? So, you see there are some RBC anomalies out there. Can you guys point out the other RBC anomalies there? You see a bell shape there, right? But that's not a bell shape, okay? That's a schistocyte, okay? Or helmet cell. Do you see the helmet cell there? Bye. Do you see a helmet cell? Nakikita ko ba naka-monitor ka kaya alam ko may monitor ka. Hindi kita masyado tatanungin ba kung hindi ko nakikita sa salamin mo yung reflection. Okay, do you see the helmet cell? I'll point out nga natin ulit mo. Go to the lower right corner, lower left corner rather, sorry, lower left corner. There. Oh, alam ni Moyo. Ang tight talaga ng ano namin, ng psychic connection namin ni Moyo. Alam niya talaga kung saan ko siya gusto papuntahin. Hindi yan scripted, guys, ha. Class, hindi yan scripted, ha. Ma'am, I will put in a good word to Sir Marco, okay? Because you know your RBC morphology. Okay? Where else is the ano? Can you show me, Moyo, where the other schistocyte is? Or helmet cell? Gitna, lower naman, gitna ulit. Gitna, nasa ang layo naman ang gitna. Baba para baba. Ayan, baba. Ayan, yung warmer. Ayan na oh. Ayun oh, nakita mo yung parang may ngipin. Yan, that's another helmet cell. Okay? So nakita nyo, class, hindi siya basta one clinical syndrome lang. Okay? It can overlap with one another. Okay? Morphologies are not isolated in one thing. Okay? Kaya nga meron tayong grading system dyan. Okay? Now, what mechanism, next na tayo. What mechanism causes ovalocytes to form in vitro? Basically the rapid reduction of ATP and 2,3-DPG. This is another another RBC abnormality that has something to do with the survivability of RBCs outside prior to pycnosis or release of the nucleus. Okay? Next. Blunt spicules naman tayo. Blunt spicules or bumps. Tandaan nyo, pag blunt ang spicules, yung parang lang, hindi siya matalim. Ang itsura niya is parang hindi matalim. Tapos evenly distributed ang bumps. These are known as echinocytes. Okay? Can we show them the appearance of echinocytes? So kita nyo, parang evenly distributed, diba? Parang even siya. Mamaya pakikita ko sa inyo yung crenated cells. Okay? Artifactual formation of echinocytes. Next slide ata yun. Artifactual formation of echinocytes is also known as what you call crenated cells. Okay? Crenated cells. Now, echinocytes originate from a pathologic disorder naman tayo is known as Burr cells. B-U-R-R. Okay? Burr cells. Okay? And there are causes of Burr cell formation, but these are the most common ones that I'm going to tell you. It's bleeding ulcers, gastric carcinoma, peptic ulcers, uremia, and pyruvate kinase. Okay? Remember the last two lang, uremia and pyruvate kinase, because in exams you will be encountering uremia and pyruvate kinase deficiency most of the time. Okay? Pag doctor lang yung first two. Yung first three. Now, there is another thing that you have to differentiate with echinocytes. Remember earlier why I strictly described them as blunt spicules with evenly distant spacing? Because there's another one, what we call acanthocytes. Okay? So acanthocytes are not uniformly spaced out thorns, but they look like what you call thorny apples. Now, thorny apples, I know, class, is seen in analysis of urine and bodily fluids, but in the peripheral blood smear, if they somehow appear like this, you call them as acanthocytes. Okay? So they look like acanthocytes, coming from the word acanthos, which is basic acanth, which is star-like. Okay? Or sorry, it's not star-like, thorn. Okay? So if they look like thorns to you, that is an acanthocyte. Okay? Nakita niyo yung mga projections niya, hindi evenly spaced. Hindi katulad nung kanina, 'di ba? Parang ano ng bisikleta, gulong ng bisikleta, 'di ba? All right. Next. Organ most affected by acanthocytosis. The liver, of course, because acanthocytosis is commonly seen in patients with alcoholism. Okay? So, we have another thing that you need to remember. These are your mouth cells or your mouth-shaped RBCs. Mouth-shaped RBCs are known as what? Sinong nakakaalala? Latin word for mouth is Arian. Pakitaan mo sila, Arian. Okay, can we show them the correct answer? Tinangan natin. Ay, bonggang-bongga talaga si ano. Parang may mga sad face, di ba? Oh. Parang kayo ngayon, oh. Yung mga itsura ninyo ngayon. Parang yung mga labi ninyo, ganyan yung mga itsura. Sad face. Yung wala lang, mema lang. Ganon. Ganyan na ganyan yung mga itsura ninyo ngayon. Di ba? Pag nakalimutan nyo kung anong tawag sa stomatocytes, tandaan nyo lang, gantong itsura namin habang nakikinig kay Sir Manuel. Mga mukhang mema lang. Alright? Alright, let's go on to the next one. Disease states associated with stomatocytes or stomatocytosis. You'll see hereditary stomatocytosis. Again, that's another problem. Alcoholism, cirrhosis, drugs, malignancy, and lead poisoning. Okay? Lead poisoning, sir. Kasama din pala ang lead poisoning. Yes. 'Di ba? Ang gulo-gulo ni stomatocyte, ang gulo-gulo ni lead poisoning, no, kung saan napupunta. All right. Now, drugs that causes stomatocyte formation, phenothiazine and chloropromazine. So, I think both of them are antidepressants. Let's move on to clinical findings. So, aside from clinical findings, what is the key difference between artifactual stomatocytosis and pathophysiological stomatocytosis? So, artifactuals are cleanly seen as slit with a central pallor, while genuine pathologic stomatocytes are more shaded. Nakita nyo? Parang meron pa rin siyang parang central pallor, guys, di ba? Nakita nyo? Pero sa actual stomatocytosis, you'll see that the slits are much more shaded. Nakita nyo? Kita nyo yung key difference ng artifactual at saka ng ano. And look at the cells beside it. Always look at the cells beside it. Diba? Pag nakita nyo ang cells, may mga normocytes naman. Pero dun sa kabila, parang halos lahat sila abnormal. Nakita nyo? Kita yung key difference, artifactual and ano. When you see that there's always going to be something every time ito kung nakalimutan niyo na lahat ng sinabi ko, pero meron next time na nasa harap kayo ng microscope, tapos for example pinatanong sa inyo ng pathologist niyo diyan sa Pilipinas, what do you see? Pag nalilito kayo, always make sure tingnan niyo yung mga kapitbahay. Okay? Tingnan niyo yung mga kapitbahay ng mga cells. Pag abnormal halos lahat ay hindi yan artifactual. There is something wrong. Okay? Clear? Okay. Now, let's talk about poikilocytes that are associated with trauma. Okay? There are two things that you need to remember. Helmet cells or schistocytes. Okay? And then we have teardrop cells or pear-shaped cells, also known as what? Who knows the name for teardrop cells? Taray talaga ni Patrick. Alam ni Patrick yung mga yan. Taray, dacrocytes. Okay. So, hindi siya ovalocytes. Tingnan nyo yung difference ng dacrocyte tsaka ng ovalocyte. See the difference? By the way, shout out to Lab Science Review, lab.sciencereview.com, kasi sila yung nag-provide yan for us. Okay? So, nakita niyo parang merong parang kuwit doon sa dulo, di ba? Parang talaga siyang teardrop talaga. Parang nag-drawing ka talaga ng teardrop. And then, what other abnormalities do you see in the blood smear, class? Sige nga. Renmar, pakitaan mo nga sila. Ay, tayo talaga ni Woyo. Woyo, anong tawag dyan? Sige. Yung tinuro mo. Oh, ano pa? Sige, pakitaan mo sila na hindi ka lang basta moderator. Ano pa? Sige. Tapos, ayun yung nasa may kanan. Anong tawag dyan? Oo. Anong tawag dyan? Sige. Nandoon sa previous slide. Previous two slides. Balik mo. Pakita para maalala mo. Ayan. Helmet cells or schistocytes. Pag sinabing fragments, schistocytes. Okay? Fragments. Okay? So, clear? Clear tayo? Okay? Okay. Now, 'di ba? Bongga-bongga yung moderator ko. 'Di ba nagmo-moderate na 'yan? Tinitingnan niya yung YouTube account namin. Tinitingnan niya yung YouTube account namin tapos ano pa ng nagma-manage pa ng ano. Tapos kina-count pa niya yung ano niya. Tapos nakakasagot. Tapos yung mga students lang kailangan nang gawin sumagot, hindi sumasagot. Tama ba 'yan? How unfair is this world talaga, no? Ano ba yan, Renma? Dapat magpapakita. Si Patrick lang ang tumutulong kay ano dito, ha? Kay Marion, ha? Tama ba yan? Charing lang. Ano ba? Mahal na mahal kayo niyan. Sige na, go na. Next na tayo. Okay. So, mechanisms in the formation of the cryocytes involve forceful stretching through an opening of an RBC. Okay? And what type of I think next slide, please. So, forceful stretching of the RBC. So, what disorders do you think are what disorder rather do you think causes that one? Bigay ko sa inyo. Tatlong MMM. Maalaala mo kaya. Charit. Hindi yan MMM. Hindi MMK. Anong ibig sabihin ng MMM class? Transcribe MMM. Naku, nakalimut. Naku. Patay tayo dyan. Mga nice to, mga ano yan. Hindi yan nice to know class, mga must know yan. MMM stands for myelofibrosis with myeloid metaplasia. Okay? Yung naninigas yung nagkakaroon ng fibrosis dun sa mga pores ng bone marrow kaya hindi sila makalabas. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng fibrosis. Naninigas. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next slide. Huwag kakalimutan yung MMM ha. Myelofibrosis with myeloid metaplasia. Okay? Now, the most common poikilocytes associated with abnormal hemoglobin content is, of course, what you call the drepanocytes. Okay? They are also known as your sickle cells. And again, this picture is credited to the Central Texas College for providing us with this picture. I know it's hard for them to get these types of pictures because they're in the middle of a desert. Okay? Anyways, let's talk about RBC inclusions. I think that's the next one. Okay? RBC inclusions include wala nating ulit-ulitin pa pero ayokong inuulit-ulit ninyo class pero I know unlimited, super unli na class, nakaka-board na. Pero first slide tayo. Pakitaan natin. There are what happened? Oh no, biglang nag-delete. Ay, last na. Wala na. Hala, ano nangyari dyan? Charing. Ano nangyari? Wait. Madami pa tayo. May inclusion bodies pa tayo. Anong year yung nakuha mo? Wala na. Okay. Okay, so ako mag-share na lang. I'll try using my computer. Hopefully maka-login ako. Can we give you guys like 5 minutes? Oh, paano ba? Saan ko ba isa-send? Sige, send ko sa'yo. Okay, sige. Andali, hanapin ko muna. Give me like 5 minutes, class. Adjourn muna tayo for a while. Wait, hang on a sec. Okay, sent na. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Merong peryahan sa ano ha. Merong peryahan kay Marion ha. Naririnig ko yung ano, yung tunog ng perya. Okay. So, since inaantay natin sila, titingnan nga natin kung may makakapag-identify. I'm gonna go Google a bunch of slides. Okay. Whilst we're waiting for another copy, let's try and do an exercise. Sige, check mo lang muna Moyo kung meron ka ha. Sige lang. No rush, don't worry. We'll try an exercise first. Can you guys see what I'm sharing on the screen? Okay. Let's start first with the first exercise. Ignore the arrows. Based on distribution, ano napapansin niyo sa distribution ng cells natin? Upon initial look on this, upon initial inspection of this field, ano unang-una niyo nakikita sa distribution ng cells? Meron bang aggregation? Meron bang Rolu formation? Or what? Sige, class. Malinaw ba? Ayan. Malinaw naman, no? Nakikita ko sa mata ni Bay, malinaw eh. Kaya lang ako kumain. Sino makakasagat? Medyo blurry lang po kasi baka yung net ko lang. Okay, kung medyo blurry, you're free to not answer. But for those who can see, what can you see? What can you tell me about the distribution of the RBCs there? Sobrang layo-layo ba? Tamang layo lang? Or or nag-a-aggregate sila, sir? Arian. Nagulat siya. Nagulat siya. Arian, sige. Anong masasabi mo sa distribution? Okay, very good. So medyo layo-layo sila. Now let's look at the sizes of the RBCs, Arian. Anong masasabi mo sa RBC size natin? Majority of the cells are what? Microcytic, macrocytic, or normocytic? Uh-huh. Ignore the ones with the arrow. Ay, ikaw talaga, Arian. Ano pa? Majority of the cells are what? Microcytic, hypochromic, microcytic, hypochromic, macrocytic, normochromic, normochromic, normochromic. Majority of the cells, upon general inspection of this field. Shelo, mukhang meron kang gustong sabihin. Sige, si Shelo. Si Shelo parang itataas yung kamay eh. Sige, Shelo. Micro. Yung karamihan. Okay, isa-isahin natin yung mga RBC anomalies, Renmar. Sige nga, Renmar, isa-isahin mo yung mga RBC anomalies. Hindi Teo, nandun sa may pader mo. Charing, charing lang, ikaw naman. Siyempre yung nasa harap mo, friend. Ikaw naman. I don't, do you agree, class, do you agree it's tomatocytes? Meron bang line? Di ba? Charing lang. Ano siya? Ovalocyte, di ba? Oh. Oh, ano pa? Ano pa mga nakikita mong abnormal dyan? Aha. Anong tawag doon? Anong fear? Nakakatakot? Pair. Nakakaloka. Akala ko anong fear yung nakakatakot. Nakakaloka naman. Akala ko. Ox lang. Very good. Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, ano pa? Ano pa? Meron pa doon no, sa gilid, sa kanan. Ano yung nakikita mo sa kanan? Meron sa upper, meron sa ano. Arian, parang may gusto kang sabihin. Sige, tulungan mo nga si Renmar. Medyo disappointed ako sa anak ko. Very good. Anong tawag doon sa slit light na yon? Slit light na yan na pinagsasabi mo. Hala. Hala. Sige lang, go. Ano ba? Masyado namang ano. Sige, go. Nagulat naman ako. Okay. Alright, stomatocytes. Ano naman yung nasa may gitna na site? Nasa gitna. Pero right side. Moy... Ay, hindi pala. Hindi pala. Wala palang highlighter si Moyo. Sorry. Alam ko pala yung may ano. Ako mag-highlight. Paano ba nilalagyan ng highlight? Edit. No. Ayan, eto may ano pala ako. Ayan, anong tawag dyan? Nakita niyo yung arrow? Nakita niyo yung mouse ko? Ito Tawag dyan. What do you call that? That one. Bye. Okay, wonderful. Alright. Next picture, I want you guys to look at it. Hang on a sec. Let me just close this and I'll send the picture. I'll send the email. I'll send the Moyo the whilst you guys look at it. I'll send Moyo the PowerPoint presentation. Hang on a sec. Nasaan naman? Paano ba nag-share? Ang hirap naman mag-share lagi. Paiba-iba yung icons. Ayan. Okay. Let's go again. Another one. Let's go and ask Layla. Ay, wala si Layla pala. Let's go with somebody who I haven't asked. Let's talk to Angelo. Angelo, are you there? Hi. Okay. Wait lang, Moyo, ikaw ba yung ano? Ikaw ba yung may picture na naka skinny jeans? Ikaw ba yon? Oo, white shirt with skinny jeans. Tara. Okay, yun na yun. Okay. Tas checkered shoes. Alright. Okay, nakita na kita. Alright. Eh. Here you go. Here you go. That's it. Alright. So, Angelo, galawin ang baso. Based on distribution, what can you tell me about the cells in front of you? Bakit ako tinatanong mo, hoy? Pag nag-medtech ka, ibig mo sabihin, tatanungin mo din yung ano. Tatanungin mo, sino tatanungin mo? Wala na si Sir Manuel. Hoy, wag akong tatanungin mo. Oh, sige, go. Oh, ano na, anong tawag? Ayan, sure. Tama naman ang sagot mo, di ba? Ikaw talaga unsure ka sa sarili mo, ha? Anong klaseng aggregation siya? Relu formation or ano lang? Or agglutination? Paano mo nasabi? Very good. Love it. Okay. So, what other RBC anomalies do you see there? Anong tawag dito? Uneven spicules, not separate. Spicules. Spicules. Spicules ibig sabihin parang thorns. Anong tawag diyan? Acanthocyte, 'di ba? Ito, anong tawag dito? Ito sa dalawang to, anong tawag diyan? Very good. Or ito, anong tawag dito? Anong tawag diyan? Walang central pallor. Hoy, kakasabi mo lang kanina. Hoy, sasakaling kita, kakasabi mo lang kanina. Hoy! Very good. Pero what's the difference between this spherocyte with this spherocyte? Ano pinagkaiba niya? Yung color lang. Kasi wala naman sila central pallor, di ba? Hypochromic. Ayan. Kita nyo, random lang ako nag-google. 'Di ba? Random lang ako nag-google. Ikaw talaga ha. Sasakaling kita ha. Masyado mo Huwag kang kabahan sa akin. Hindi bumubula yung bunganga ko si Sir Marco, yung bumubula ang bunganga. Kayo talaga. Okay, last na before mag-present si Moyo. Last na. Okay, thank you Angelo. O, di ba? Pakibigyan naman ng plus point si Angelo kasi parang siya lang yung tinanong ko na medyo hindi confident pero tama yung sagot, di ba? Pakibigyan naman siya. Alright. Palakpakan nyo din naman class yung kaklase nyo. Grabe naman, nagbasa siya ng peripheral blood smear. Hoy, dyan sa Pilipinas, pathologist ang nagbabasa niyan. Oh, si Angelo siya nagbasa lang yan mag-isa. Medyo tama, nagtanong nga lang sa akin. Tama ba yun, Angelo? Charing lang. Okay. Pinakita ko na to. Ito, last na class before mag-present si Moyo. Last na. Okay. Alright. Basing on the initial picture, sino makakapagsabi sa akin kung anong sakit ng pasyente? This time, hindi ako magtatanong, hindi ako magtuturo. Basing on the initial look on this slide, what do you think is the disease of the patient? Taray talaga ni Angelo, oh. Angelo, wag mo, the pathologist yan. Magmamanggagamot ka. Uh, Very good. I think you would do well with microscopy. I think so. Hopefully magmedisina ka ha. Sa iyo ako magpapadala ng mga slides ko, okay? Alright. Madali siya. Nakikita ko may talent 'tong bata na to sa Kasi I've trained a lot of students in the past and not many are like Angelo. Medyo nagtatanong lang. Yun lang ang critique ko sa iyo. Nagtatanong ka pero other than that, you know what you're looking at. Okay? Clear. Clear and concise dapat yun lang. At saka confidence in answering, yun lang yung kulang sa'yo. Okay? Alright. You can go and present na Moyo. We're in WBC. Diba? Was that a fun activity, class? Did you get to learn how to look at peripheral blood smear? So you start first with the distribution. Okay? Then you go to where? You go to individual RBC morphologies, and then you make an assumption based on what you are seeing in front of you, whether or not it's microcytic, macrocytic, normochromic, or normochromic, hypochromic, 'di ba? Nakita niyo kung paano yung approach. Very 'di ba? Very concise ang approach natin. Okay, I see a lot of potential in Angelo. Hopefully with other subjects you are doing well also. Okay? Now, palakpakan, class. Kasi tapos na tayo sa ano natin. We'll move on with RBC inclusions, class. Thank you, Zabedi. Okay. Let's go to the next question. All right. So these are cells that are derived from remnants of nuclear material. Ayan na, paulit-ulit ko na yung Renmar. Pag hindi mo naalala yan, sasakalin kita. Renmar, ano yan? Renmar. Ilang beses na nating inuulit-ulit yan. May demonic pa ako. Hana, ay, ngayon ko lang ulit nakita tong bata na to. Sige, si Gracie. Hana Gas. Howell Jolly Bodies, di ba? Huwag kakalimutan si Jolly D. Ibig sabihin, pag may sinabing D, ano siya? May DNA. And by the way, shout out to our friends there in mediamssm.edu. Hindi ko alam, ginugol ko lang yan, pero nakita ko siyang ganyan. Siya lang yung may pinaka-clear ang appearance. Okay? So look at it. It's like very tiny. Okay? Howell Jolly Bodies. Alright, next. Howell Jolly Bodies are often positioned. May ED yan, ha? Positioned in what? They are positioned where? Sige nga, class. Balik tayo doon. Saan siya balik tayo doon sa may picture para makita nila. Saan sila usually nakikita? Sa center ba? Sa periphery? Or outside the WBC? The RBC? Sige. Class. Central? Periphery? Or outside the RBC? Walang makakasagot. Kayo, class, ha? Nandiyan na nga sa harap ninyo. Ayan na si Jomel. Sige, Jomel. Very good. O, diba? Pakita nga natin ang tamang sagot. Kung tama ba ang sagot niyo. Yes. Majority of the time, you see it in the periphery of the cell membrane. Alright. Next, we're going to go with another RBC inclusion. This time, it's a ribonucleoprotein and mitochondrial origin. Ayan na. Ribonucleoprotein and mitochondrial in origin. What type of RBC inclusion? That is known as, ano nga yan? Kalimutan ko na, pati ako nakakalaan. Basophilic stipplings. Okay? So, let's show them what basophilic stipplings look like. See what they look like. That's what they look like. Alright? Clear? Clear what it looks like? So, mechanisms of basophilic stipplings or punctate basophilia. This is often seen with abnormalities in heme synthesis or accelerated / defective heme synthesis. Okay? Oftentimes seen in patients with lead poisoning and thalassemia. Bakit? Ano ba ang ini-inhibit ni lead poisoning? There are two enzymes that it can possibly interfere with. First one is what? ALA synthase. Diba? Nakalimutan nyo na si ALA synthase. Kayo, class, ha? The other one is ferrochelatase. Diba? The enzyme that puts iron in protoporphyrin to make it heme. Diba? Nakalimutan nyo na? Thalassemia, as of course, as we've discussed, is a quantitative globin chain disorder. Okay? Next, let's move to the next one. RBC inclusions that consist of non-heme iron on the surface of RBCs. These are known as siderotic granules. Oftentimes seen in patients with sideroblastic anemia. Now, the one on the left is what you see in what? in peripheral blood smears. But the one on the right is stained with what? This one is stained with H&E, right stain. On the left one, on the right side, what is that stain that we used? I mentioned that earlier. Kapangalan siya ng sabon dyan sa Pilipinas na color blue. Para hindi niyo makakalimutan, lagi ko yung sinasabi sa mga students ko. Ayan, naglabasan na. Ayan si Lilzo. Lumabas si Lilzo. Hi, Lilzo. Lilzo, parang kang lumalangoy. Taas ka naman ng konti. Pakita mo naman sa amin yung face mo. Ayan. Parang kang lumalangoy eh. Okay. Lilzo, what stain did we use here? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, girl. Pearls Prussian blue. Yes. Or Prussian blue. Okay, Pearls Prussian blue. Let's show them. Okay, the confirmatory test is Pearls Prussian blue. Okay. Now, let's talk about siderocyte and sideroblast. Okay. Well, the only difference between them is that a siderocyte is a mature RBC with siderotic granules. Let's go to the the sideroblast is an immature RBC with siderotic granules. Let's show them what it looks like. Let's go up just a little bit. Up, 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 up. All right. So look at the mature RBCs, right? They have iron deposits in them. They are mature RBCs. The one on the left, you can see that they are immature RBCs. How did I know? Ang galing-galing mo naman, sir. Hindi man lang H&E ang ginamit mo kasi po friends, tingnan niyo oh. Merong what? Merong nucleus. Meron bang mature RBC na may nucleus? Wala naman, 'di ba? Kaya nga siderocyte and sideroblast. Clear? That's the only difference between them. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon, class? Clear ba tayo? Send me a heart if you think I'm clear. If you think it's clear. At taray, nag-send talaga sila ng heart. I love it. O, di ba? Nakakatuwa. Paano ginagawa yung exploding hearts? Natutuwa ako. Pakigawa ka ulit yon. Yung exploding hearts. Paano lumalabas yun? Ayun. Ito double click. Pala. Okay. Alright. Anyways, thank you. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. We differentiated it already. You know that mature RBC has siderocyte. They don't have a nucleus. Another term for siderotic granules. What is another term for siderotic granules? This is known as Pappenheimer bodies. Pappenheimer bodies. Okay? Okay? Huwag nyo nakakalimutan, blackish ang itsura niya. Pepper. Pappenheimer. Pepper. Yun yung shortcut ko sa kanya. Pepper. Para hindi kayo malito. Okay? And it's a term usually called when it is stained with a right stained methodology, using the right staining method. Okay? Yung mag-dip tayo sa methyl alcohol, iusin muna, and then what else? What's the other one? Hematoxylin, and then buffer. Diba? Huwag kalimutan yun ha. Okay? Alright. Next. Aside from sideroblastic anemia, what other disease state causes Pappenheimer bodies to appear in the peripheral blood? Okay, so we have something to discuss before we show you the answer. Okay? So, we have sideroblastic anemia, right? This causes what? This causes an overload of what heavy metal? What metal? Jomel. What metal causes siderocytosis? By. Hoy, ano lang ba ang kanina pa nating metal na pinag-uusapan? Aryan, sige.
Sir, iron.
Very good. Iron. Siderocytosis is caused by iron. Diba? Sideroblastic anemia is caused by an interference with the iron metabolism. Diba? Tama ba tayo? Clear tayo doon, diba? Okay. Now, in cases of patients who are heavily transfused with packed red cells, heavy transfusion, anong nangyayari sa kanila? Nagkakaroon ng iron overload. And iron overload is also known as kalimutan na nila. Ano class? Hemochromatosis. Tingnan nga natin kung tama pa, kung naaalala pa ang sagot. Hemochromatosis, di ba? Alright? So, there's overstorage of ferritin. Okay? Alright. Now, let's move on to the inclusion bodies that contain arginine-rich histones and non-heme iron. Ayan na. Arginine-rich histones and non-heme iron. Prior to our discussions, we've discussed all about heme iron, heme-related iron, which is what? The ferrous or the ferric iron? Is it ferrous or ferric? Which is what? F2 or F3? Fe2 or Fe3? Titignan lang natin kung naalala mo pa ang chemistry mo. Ferrous is Fe2 plus or 3 plus ba? Wrong. It's Fe2. Okay? Fe2. Alright. At least maalala mo na, di ba, Vi? Ferrous, 2. O, di ba? 2. Ferrous. Di ba? Ferric, 3. Ik. May sound na I. 3. Eric. O, di ba? Para hindi mo na makalimutan. Kasi ang dami mo pang aalalahanin. By, di ba naalala mo yung mga schedule na, ay yung mga lecture natin last time, di ba? Ang daming numbers noon. Di ba? Para kailangan natin ng mnemonics, hindi ma-overload ang utak natin. Now, when we're talking about non-heme iron, we're talking about Cabot's ring. Okay? So, Cabot's rings include this one. I've not seen it ever since. Okay? Cabot's rings are like this. They are known as what you call your figure of 8 appearance. Okay? And the term that is used to denote alteration in the color of red blood cell. I think that's another thing that you need to remember. I think that's the next thing that we need to discuss. Denote the alteration in red blood cell color is known as what you call anisochromasia or anisochromia. Okay? Alteration in color. So there are only two things that you need to remember. Normochromia and hypochromia. That is something that you just need to remember. Now, next slide tayo. Medyo bibilisan natin kasi maglulukemia pa tayo. Plus coagulation pa eh. Okay? Now, the term used to denote cells with low hemoglobin content is of course known as hypochromia. Okay? I'll show you a picture. This is what it looks like. And again, credits to medicals-lab.net for providing us with this picture. Alright? Next. The term used for non-nucleated RBCs with a bluish tinge appearance seen in the peripheral blood smear is polychromatophilia. Okay? Polychromatophilia. And how do we describe a polychromatophilic cell? Can we go to the next slide, Moyo? That's polychromatophilia. Bluish tinge. Okay? So, uneven staining pattern yan. Ibig sabihin ng poly, marami. Chromato, colors. Philia, loving. Okay? Now, let's go to the description of polychromatophilia. Polychromatophilia is described as a larger than normal cell with a bluish to orange tinge. Okay? So this is what it looks like. See that it's larger and see that it has a bluish orange tinge. Right? Hindi ko ma-appreciate yung orange. Honestly, hindi ko ma-appreciate yung orange except lang doon sa third one that is the third RBC there on the right, the rightmost RBC there on the arrow. I'm not sure if Moyo can point a highlighter to that one, but that one has an orange tinge to it. That's the only one that I can see that there's an orange tinge to it. Can you help us out, Moyo, if you can? If you can't, don't worry. I know you have a lot on your plate. The rightmost one with the arrow. The other one. Yan. Nakita nyo, may parang orange tinge doon sa taas niya, di ba? Moyo, tinuturo mo ba yung orange tinge na yon? Ayan. Di ba? Nakikita nyo, class? Parang may orange tinge siya, di ba? Parang ano lang, kapiranggot lang. Slight lang. Okay? Next, let's move on to the next one. Okay, there are 3 types of cell inclusion bodies that require supravital stains. Okay, so what are the three types of cells and inclusion bodies that require special supravital staining procedures to visualize? These include your reticulocytes, HBH inclusion bodies and Heinz bodies. Okay? Heinz bodies. Alright? Ano nga problema natin kapag may HBH tayo? Patay. Nakalimutan na. Lilzo, what's our problem if we have HBH? Tan tan tan. Ito ang ma-inherit mo na A globin chain A globin chain gene. Ayan, oh. Wala, 'di ba? Wala kang na-inherit. Non-inheritance of what? A mutation that results to non-inheritance of alpha globin chains, 'di ba? Walang 1 deletion, walang 2 deletion, walang 3 deletion. Non-inheritance talaga. Ibig sabihin yung apat na genes na yon wala talaga sa iyo maski isa. Okay? So ano ang predominant hemoglobin natin diyan? Jomel. Hindi tayo nagpo-produce ng hindi tayo nagpo-produce ng ng HbA1 and HbA2. Anong predominant hemoglobin natin? HbS ba? HbC ba? Or HbF? Oh. Oh, guys, you forgot. Parang gusto ko magbigay ng parang gusto kong gumawa ng 5-minute na quiz. Ano problema natin? Bart's hemoglobin ay HbH, 'di ba? HbH is Bart's hemoglobin. Your problem is you have alpha thalassemia, heterogeneous 4 deletions. You are suffering from hydrops fetalis, 'di ba? And your the main hemoglobin variant that you have is hemoglobin F. 'Di ba? Kasi may compensatory mechanism na ginagawa ang katawan natin. Okay? Since hindi tayo makapag-produce ng HbA, you are producing HbF instead. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next slide. Supravital stained inclusion bodies composed of precipitated beta chain tetramers of hemoglobin. Naku, hirap naman yun. HbH inclusions. Okay? So we can stain it using the reticulocyte stain. This is from Beth Israel in the Deaconess Medical College in Boston. Okay? She was kind enough to share this one. Okay? That is what it looks like. See how different it looks from a reticulocyte. It looks like a starburst actually, or a grapefruit. 'Di ba? It looks like grapes. No? Parang Staph aureus lang yung tinitingnan ko. 'Di ba? Lalo na yung nasa right side. 'Di ba? So ganyan yung itsura niya. HbH inclusion bodies looks like that. All right? This is next slide. This is an inclusion bodies that is composed of denatured hemoglobin, oftentimes appearing as bite cells in right stain. This is known as what? I'll show you guys the picture. This is known as Heinz bodies. And Heinz bodies looks like this. Parang siyang Pokeballs. Pag binigyan mo pag sideways, parang Pokeballs pag sideways. Look at the appearance of this one, right? So, this is precipitated. Again, let me remind you that again, this is precipitated hemoglobin. Okay? They are precipitated hemoglobins. Alright? Now, we have some more things to show you guys. This is parasites that are seen in the blood smear. Okay? Parasites that are seen in the blood smear. I think that's the next one. First up is, of course, Plasmodium species. Okay? Plasmodium species. You'll see it like this. I won't discuss it any further, but the one that you're seeing on the left is your what? Ring forms or gametocytes? Obviously, it's the ring forms. Kasi nga ring, di ba? The right side is the one that is what you call what? The banana-shaped gametocyte, which is indicative of what species? Arian? Plasmodium. Very good. Okay. Next one is Babesia microti. Babesia microti is from this picture is from the cdc.gov. You'll see it like this. This appears like X's, or what they call it, Ferris wheels. Okay, they look like this. They are transmitted in a similar way They often have a clinical symptomology similar to that of what do you call this, of malaria. However, the transmission is different. They are transmitted by exodus ticks. The spelling of exodus ticks is like this: exodus species. Okay, and we receive that every day. We receive ticks here in my current hospital as a parasitology studies. Okay, for parasitology studies. Okay, no more discussion on that. Ay, hi! Welcome back. Bumubula pa mukha nga mo, Sir Marco. Ay, hindi na. Okay. Alright. Babesia, microtia. Ay, babe siya. Oh my gosh, yeah. Babe siya dapat. Ba't ganon? Paki-change siya ha. Babe siya. Yun yung spelling. Babe siya. Nasaan na ba ako ba? Hindi ko siya mapalitan. Ano ha, mali ang spelling ko niyan. Class ha, sabi ko nga sa inyo, I'm an imperfect person with a perfect smile. Okay? Okay. Next slide na para hindi na tayo mapahiya. Ito yung tamang spelling. Oo nga sir, buti napansin mo. That's very particular of you, okay? Thank you. All right. Now, let's move on to WBC and platelet anomalies. Naloka ako kay Sir Marco. Gigising lang para i-correct ako. Kita nyo, ganyan ka ano ang din ninyo. 'Di ba? Wag nyo pinabubula ang bunganga. Okay? Alright. Next. WBC and platelet anomalies tayo. Okay? These are neutrophils with dark blue to black granules which oftentimes appear in drug poisoning and burns. You'll see it as toxic granules. Okay? I'll show you the picture. Here you go. Okay. Toxic granules are what? Where do you see the toxic granules? All I see, sir, where's the normal one? I'm going to ask you first a question. Which one of those cells do you think is the normal one? Because this was the question last year. Nobody was able to answer. Hopefully someone here will. Which one? The left or the right? Which one is the normal one? Which is the abnormal one? Yung nakatingin din sa likod ni Bay. Oh. Hi, father or brother, whoever. Salam po. Okay. Nakikitingin din kasi tinitingnan niya kung normal din ba ang ano. Left or right? Bilis. Answers. Nandiyan nakaabang sa inyo si Sir Marco. My goodness, class. Nakakatakot. Pati ako kinabahan. Charit. Left or right? Pili kayo. Sino dyan ang normal? Sino dyan ang abnormal? Okay. A lot of people are answering right. Tingnan natin kung talagang tama sila. Kaya bang i-zoom mo yo? ang dami ko nang inano kay Moyo, ni-request kay Moyo. Ay, taray, zinom talaga niya. Ay, taray ni Moyo, zinom niya talaga. Okay, naloka ako kay Moyo. Binigla ako ni Moyo. Ang galing talaga dito, Sir Marco. Sir Marco, kung pwede kong i-hire as my as my student teacher, pwede ba? Alright. Okay, so yeah. The correct answer is the right one. Look at the other. Zoom muna natin. Friend, ano ba yan? Friend, zoom muna natin. Ayan. Oh, ayan. Oh. Nakikita niyo yung toxic granules? Yung bluish tinge. Nakita niyo? Di ba parang even yung lilac granules, di ba? Pero, may makikita kayo dun sa upper part ng cell or ng cytoplasm. May tatlong parang mga butlig na sky blue yung color. Nakita niyo? Okay, ayan, o, diba? O, taray talaga ni Moyo. Tinuturo mo ni Moyo. Sabi nila, mga ano kayo, hindi nyo nakikita. Ito, ituturo ko. O, ayan. O, diba? Alright, let's go to the next slide. Thank you, Moyo. Okay. Ang galing ni Moyo na paano niya, napa-zoom niya. Okay. These granules were thought of by early researchers as what? They are what? They are considered as primary granules. They thought that this was actually abnormalities. Early scientists thought that these were just primary granules that didn't dissolve yet. Okay? but when in fact it's that these are actually real anomalies, WBC anomalies, that's beyond the metamyocytic stages. Okay, right. Now let's go on to the next one. These are light blue to gray areas in the cytoplasm of neutrophils. Um, this is known as Dole bodies. Okay, and these anomalies are oftentimes seen in patients with burns, poisoning, infection, and patients who are undergoing chemotherapy. Okay, Dole bodies are seen in this particular picture. And again, thanks to the American Society of Hematology, I just grabbed this off of their page. Okay, if we want to move closer, can we go and zoom in? There you go. You see the Dole bodies there, right? So it kind of looks like, to me, it kind of looks like toxic granulation, but this one has a deeper and much more significant and pronounced coloration to it, right? The other one you can't see it clearly. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next. A couple of slides, I think. Okay. So there are things that you need to remember when it comes to the production of Dole bodies, and these are the mechanisms, of course, is important. Dole bodies represent the failure of the cytoplasm to mature. Okay? So these are when you look closer, comparing it to the toxic granulations. This one looks like what? They're missing what? They're missing one key component. And Aryan, I know you stood up immediately because you see, and I know, and I can tell that you know that there is not enough granules in these cells, right? They look like they don't have granules. Do you see it? Can you appreciate it by that there's no granule, that there's zero, almost like there's no granules to it. It's almost empty, right? Because the granules are concentrated in the dull bodies. Okay? Okay, clear ba? Okay. Okay, next slide. Yan. Dull bodies represent failure of the cytoplasm to mature. Okay? Kaya nakikita nyo parang primary granules lang yung natitira. Alright? These are neutrophils with 6 or more lobulations. I think you guys already know the answer. These are known as hyper-segmented neutrophils. I'll show you a picture. What cell is the other cell there with the reddish granules, Gracie? What do you call that cell beside the hyper-segmented neutrophils? The red one. What's that cell? What white blood cell is that? Is that a bit? Okay. Eosinophil. Who said eosinophil? Who said neutrophil? Girl, I am going to smack you. Who said that? Okay. All right. Girl, I'm going to smack. Somebody said neutrophil. That other one, I said the red one. Okay, that's the eosinophil. Thank you, Gracie. Okay. Next. What clinical condition results to hypersegmented neutrophils? Obviously, you have to remember pernicious anemia, okay? Vitamin B12 deficiency and folic acid deficiency and chronic inflammation, okay? So don't forget those things. Actually, the presence of hypersegmented neutrophils is one thing that you can differentiate between non-megaloblastic versus megaloblastic microcytosis. Okay? So you can deduce that when you get your case studies. Okay? Hypersegmented neutrophils are a result of what? Hypersegmented neutrophils are a failure of neutrophils to mature. Okay? It's caused by failure of neutrophils to mature. Now, let's talk about the types of hypersegmentation. One type is the acquired type and the other type is the inherited type. The name for the inherited type is Undritz anomaly. Undritz anomaly. Hirap naman yan, sir. Ang dami namang mga tatandaang pangalan. Chad, madami pa kayong tatandaan na pangalan after this. Meron pa tayong coagulation at saka meron pa tayong leukemia. Okay? We're just trying to wrap it up so that we get to discuss that now, next. Okay. Acquired is caused by vitamin deficiency, of course, folic acid and vitamin B12. Now we go to the next one. These are neutrophilic structures. I think that's the one. These are neutrophilic structures that is seen in 2 to 3% of neutrophils in females but not normally seen in males. These are known as bar bodies. Okay? These are known as bar bodies. They're oftentimes referred to as, can you show them the picture of bar bodies? They're often known as chicken, what? Chicken leg. Okay? Chicken legs. Chicken leg bodies. Or fried chicken bodies. Because they look like a bunch of chicken legs, right? If you look at it, if you kind of squint your eyes a little, it kind of looks like chicken legs with the blue, with the purple flour as the batter. But anyways, let's move on to bar bodies some more. Bar bodies are made up of sex chromatin. This is basically the second X chromosome in females. Okay, this is very special because this is the only time you get to see something, you get to observe something to the in the genetic world using a stain. Okay, most of the time we detect chromosomes using molecular techniques or molecular probes, but in this case you get to see a sex chromatin right in front of you using right stain. Okay, next slide please. Okay, this is a degenerative process that is the process seen in phagocytic cells as a sign of lysosomal activity of ingested materials. Okay? Lysosomal activity of ingested materials. Ano kaya yun? Anong tawag doon? Alright? What do you call that one? Lysosomal activity. Lysosomal activity. When you hear the word lysosomal, actually nakalimutan ko. Pero ang tamang sagot is toxic vacuoles. Actually nakalimutan ko ng konti kaya medyo nag-slow down ako. Pag sinabi mong lysosomal activities, may kinalaman sa vacuoles yan. Buti na lang naalala ni Sir Manuel. O di ba? Alright? Okay, lysosomes siya. Okay? Clear? Clear pa so far? Nakakasunod pa ang lahat? Kasi mamaya mag-ano na tayo. Maglulukimia na tayo. Okay? Next in our discussion is Pelger-Hewitt anomaly. I guess, I think. Oh, say, most common cause pala muna tayo. Most common cause of toxic vacuole is septicemia, of course. You'll see this in a lot of patients in the ICU, specifically there in the Philippines. Actually, my first time seeing it in the laboratory is there in the Philippines. I can remember because that patient actually expired a couple of hours after I made that smear. Okay? So, hindi ko makakalimutan yung patient na yun. RIP to her, rest in peace. Okay, hindi ko na sabihin yung name. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Failure of neutrophils to segment normally is seen in what WBC anomaly? This is known as a Pelger-Hewitt anomaly. It's also known as what you call the bilobed neutrophil or the pince nez glasses. Ano ba yung pince nez na yan? Pince nez is what you see in those clown shows. Right? Yung mga clowns, yung shades ng clowns na hindi naman sobrang laki, ng liit-liit. Those are pince nez glasses. Okay? The two forms of Pelger-Hewitt anomaly is what you call, as again, there's an acquired form and there's an inherited form. The inherited form is associated with, let's talk about the inherited form first. The inherited form is divided into heterozygous and homozygous Pelger-Hewitt syndrome. I think it's then the next one, right? The homozygous form is there's round neutrophils, okay, and then for the homozygous rather is the round neutrophil ones, and the heterozygous form is the neutrophils with the bilobe nucleus. Okay. All right. Now let's go to the next slide. These are giant reddish to purplish granules that are an indication of an autosomal disease. This is known as Shediac-Higashi granules. Okay? Look at them. They look very much pronounced here. Right? Can you see the granules there? Shediac-Higashi granules. I don't appreciate the reddish granules actually. It's more, to me, I would call this an abnormal WBC, but in this case, this is Shediac-Higashi granules. It's very violet for me. To me, it's very violet, but the book description says that it's reddish, purplish. Well, yeah, it does kind of look purplish to me. All right, we'll give them that. But this is from an autosomal disorder. Okay? And these giant cells are granules are usually seen on mononuclear granulocytes. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Color of these granules is seen in mononuclear WBCs. They're bluish to purple in mononuclear cells. Okay, that's what they look like on monocytes. Okay, can we zoom in a little bit closer to the monocyte there in the middle? There you go. See, there you can clearly see that there's an outline of a dark purple granule there, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Malapit na matapos ang anomalies. Okay, patients with this kind of condition can have Shigekigashi granules in their peripheral blood. Albinism. Don't forget patients with albinism. Okay? If a patient, ano ba yung itsura ng mga albino class? Yung, maputi. Yes, nakita ko, I read your lips, Jomel. Maputi. Okay? Huwag niyo kakalimutan si Redford White. He's not really, what do you call this? He's not really an American. I thought he was an American at first when I was a kid. And then they told me that, are you guys familiar with Redford White? Just to be clear. Yung early 90s comedian. Okay. Buti na lang, hindi pa ako ganun katanda. Oh my gosh. Feeling ko ang naabutan nyo na lang ng mga comedian, si ano lang, si Dagul. Oh my gosh. Hindi pa ako ganun katanda, Sir Marco. Oh my God. Anyways, let's continue. So that's seen in albinism. All right. So let's talk about a May-Haglin anomaly versus toxic granulation. Okay. May-Haglin anomaly appears as black granules. Okay. Appears as black granules or dark black granules in neutrophils. Toxic granulations is exclusively for neutrophils. Okay. Alder-Riley anomaly is another one, okay, which can appear similar, but they are oftentimes seen in monocytes as mucopolysaccharides on the cytoplasm. This is Alder-Riley anomaly. Okay, so don't mistake toxic granulation versus Alder-Riley anomaly. Not May-Haglin, sorry, Alder-Riley anomaly. Okay, next one. Combination of both platelet and WBC anomaly characterized by giant platelets and neutrophil with bluish staining inclusion bodies. That's the one that I was talking about. That one is what? May-Haglin anomaly. See the difference? See the difference between the other ones? There's a giant platelet on the side. Okay. By the way, this is from my this is one from my slide. Okay? Kita nyo kung bakit ang pangit ng ang pangit ng quality. Kasi it's one from my samples. Okay? So, I think that's about it. Is there another one? Can we see? Oh yeah, basket cells. Basket cells are seen in what diseases? Or in what disease? If it's not artifactual, CLL. Okay? Chronic lymphocytic anemia. They're also known as smudge cells. Okay? So basket cells. Alright? I think that's all for our discussions. Please don't forget about C. blue histiocytosis, which is a bluish granule that comes from an autosomal anomaly wherein a monocyte cannot fully phagocytize a pathogen, e.g. bacteria. Yun lang naman ang dapat yung alalahanin kay C. blue histiocytosis. But I don't know why it didn't get saved here. But the last one I remember is C. blue histiocytosis. Alright, let's move on to the next one. We're talking about leukemia. Alright? Ay, feeling ko hindi natin matatapos hanggang ano. Which one would you prefer, class? 1 minute lang. 1 minute lang nating pag-usapan. Coagulation or um, leukemia? Ano sa tingin nyo mas mahirap? Vote tayo, class. Coag or leukemia? Sige. Bigyan ko kayo ng 1 minute to decide. Majority ang mag-ano. Pag wala, si Sir Marco ang magde-decide. Okay. A lot of people are saying leukemia, leukemia, leukemia. May take note, there are videos in my account there for leukemia. Coag lang. Si Gracie lang ang nagano ng coag. Gracie wala majority ng ano. Coag daw sabi ni Bay. Okay. Coag daw. Tatlo lang ang bumoto ng coag. Wala pong video ng coag, o 'di ba? Yes, that's why I was asking you guys. Leukemia eh. Wala sila leukemia talaga sila, class eh. Because remember, class, the reason why I ask you to choose is because I will still ask for for the ones that was not discussed in this discussion. That was not discussed in this discussion. Okay? You have a video there available on my account from the previous year, which is basically the same. Hindi ko naman siya pinaltan eh. Pero yung COAG kasi wala noon. Okay? So, how many people voted for COAG? So, COAG tayo. Madami nagsabi, COAG na lang po. O sige, COAG tayo. COAG daw. Send ko na sa'yo, Moyo, yung COAG. Kasi parang hindi ata active ngayon. Hindi. Meron ka ng COAG. Okay. COAG tayo. Sige, COAG tayo. Yan ang gusto ko madaling kausap yung mga students. Last year kasi walang COAG eh. Ang wala kayong questions ngayon, swerte kayo sa akin. Ang wala kayong questions ngayon is automation, o 'di ba? Wala kayong automation. But again, don't forget to scroll in. Don't forget to scroll the videos there. I'll cancel this one